surprised last Monday after informally polling the class to find out that everybody in here already cooks. Kind of ruined the most amazing speech that I had already written for you guys, and made me realize that I in fact didn't know my audience as well as I thought I did up until that very moment. And it led to an interesting 24 hours prior to the outline being due, where I just threw one topic after another into the trash can, trying to figure out what I was going to talk to you about today. And then it hit me. Everybody in here cooks because everybody in here eats. I mean, how does a bear cook? With a pan, duh. It was a rather duh moment for me as well, because as I began to whittle the problem down a little bit more, I realized that it wasn't a matter that we didn't cook, it was a matter that over half of us didn't enjoy cooking. We found it to be a necessary chore in our day and we didn't have any fun doing it. Well, I'm here to tell you today that I'm definitely a member of Team Fun. Cooking can be fun. Fun makes food taste better. So today, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how you can make the cooking that you're doing at home more enjoyable, even if you already enjoy cooking. Now, as all of us know, I ran restaurants for several years here in Colorado Springs, and I've done a lot of research for these presentations for the classroom. But today I want to come to you from a different level of credibility. Today I want to talk to you just sheerly about my pure love and enjoyment of food. I love food. And it's a totally platonic kind of love, obviously, but I do love the food. I love mixing the flavors and knowing exactly when to add a spice or add a herb for the best impact on the meal, or creating new meals, new flavors, bringing my own stuff to the table, literally, and getting people to judge it right away. I love food, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. That world of creativity and imagination that can be your kitchen kingdom. I was never very good with a rifle, but by God, I can swing a spoon. And I have made that kitchen my kingdom. And you can too, with the help of one simple recipe, the Excalibur of the culinary world, if you will. And it's today that recipe that I'm going to share with you, because it answers everything that you as a class brought up as a problem with cooking. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's perfect for beginners. And it's the meal that I personally just love to make, and so it's the most fun meal that I could think of. And I think you'll agree with me after we're done today exploring the world of stir-fry. Now, recently, an Economic Research Services report from the United States Department of Agriculture, it was entitled, "How Much Time Do Americans Spend with Food?" They found that on average, an American 15 years or older spends 67 minutes a day, only 67 minutes a day, eating as their primary activity, or drinking as their primary activity. All other times of the day, over an hour and a half more on average, we are eating and drinking when we're doing something else, whether it's driving to work, watching television, talking to friends, actually working. We are eating while we're doing something else. Above all, to me, what this indicates is that we, especially as Americans, when it comes to food, we want to save time. So we need something that doesn't take a whole lot of time, but yet still satisfies our basic nutritional needs. And I have that solution for you. But before I give it to you, I also want to tell you that this solution will address the secondary problem that you guys brought up, and that's lack of talent. Over a quarter of us, according to that informal poll, feel like we just can't cook. And I'm here to tell you that that's just wrong. I mean, I feel confident in saying that everybody in this room can read and write. I mean, some of you are becoming authors, some of you are going on to program robots, others are becoming nurses and scientists, for goodness sakes, and yet you've convinced yourself that, in fact, it's I went way too far. In fact, that the kitchen is a magical kingdom, filled with food wizards waving their magic wand spoons and reciting the incantations of Julia Childs and Martha Stewart as the slowly fills with smoke and boom, dinner comes out as in, no. If you can read and write, you can cook. It's preposterous to think otherwise. But of course, if you just reduce cooking to reading and writing, you turn it back into a chore. And there's no fun in chores. That's what we finally decided. So what we need is something that is easy, quick, fun to prepare, that makes us look forward to going into the kitchen. Stir-fry, believed to have originated in the Han Dynasty over 2,000 years ago, is one of the oldest cooking methods known to man. However, the phrase stir-fry was not introduced into the English language until around 1945, when Bu Wei Yang Chao wrote the book, How to Cook and Eat in Chinese. And in that book, she described the ancient Chao style of cooking as a big fire, shallow fat, continual stirring, quick frying of cut up material with wet seasonings. She shortened that all down to stir-fry, or stir for short. Now, I personally think stir-fry is the greatest method of cooking ever invented, because if you can eat something, you can stir-fry it. It's that easy. It really, truly is that easy. And the great joy of it, and where I begin to have fun with it, is that you can make stir-fry with everything that you have in your house right now. Really. Go on a scavenger hunt, and that's how I think of the fun part of it. I'm on a scavenger hunt in my kitchen looking for what I'm going to make for dinner. And what I find is a bag of rice. But if I don't have any rice, don't worry about it. Good noodle will save your butt any day, so just get something out of the cabinet to put it on top of. Then go find yourself some vegetables. Any vegetables. You can have carrots, onions, potatoes, celery, vegetables. If it's a vegetable, stick it on the counter. We're going to cut it up. and then get a piece of meat. Whatever kind of meat you prefer, and if you don't like meat, you don't have to add it to it. It's the great joy of stir fry. It's any way you want to prepare it. Whatever you want to put in it, you put in it. But once you've got all the ingredients together, the next thing you're going to have to do is cut them up. If you find yourself in a grocery store getting the ingredients, I was able to gather all of that together, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion, a little bit of mushroom, a little bit of chicken, and some rice for about $12. I already had cooking oil at the house because you are going to need some of that. Bring it about 15 if you need it. The things you need to cook with are a non-stick pan, a little bit of cooking oil, like I said, a wooden spoon preferably. You'll need enough plates for everybody to eat from and one plate to serve from, so it doesn't make a big mess as well. Now's where the fun comes in, though, because the next thing you have to do is you have to chop it up. You've got all your ingredients together and you've got to cut it up. And this is where the fun comes in, because you know what I like to do? I like to pretend I'm a ninja. Seriously, I do. I'm a stir-fry ninja. And I just snuck through town gathering up all my ingredients, and now I'm using my awesome ninja knife skills to cut them into little bite-sized pieces. Avoid cubes. Use your awesome ninja skills to avoid cubes. They're harder to cook. You'll find raw meat in the middle of your food. But once you've got it all cut up, the very next thing you have to do is cook it. That's the last step of stir-fry, is you have to cook it. And the most important part of stir-fry, and I'm going to say it several times here because it is that important, is cook the meat first. Never add raw meat to cooking food. Don't do it. You'll kill yourselves. Cook the meat first. That's the only thing, and all of that I've said is that you have to remember is cook the meat first. And now, after that, it's completely up to you. If you're going to follow proper stir-fry techniques, Rhonda Parkinson of About.com, she's a food columnist, she created the 20 steps, and I've actually included a link to that in an email I sent to you this morning. So you'll be able to see those, but there's 20 steps of making the perfect stir-fry. It's an excellent resource. I suggest that you use it. Now, we've shown you how stir-fry meets all the needs that you had. It doesn't take very much time to cook. It takes about a half an hour. It's easy to serve. You just put what you cooked in the pan on top of rice, add some soy sauce, bang, you've got a nutritious dish. And it took no time whatsoever, and if you can read and write, you can cook it. Plus, it's got ninjas, which really makes it kind of cool. But if ninjas are not your thing, and you still feel you can use your time better, and I'll admit it, 20 steps, that's an awful lot of steps. I'm going to give you 3 more reasons as to why stir-fry is a necessary thing to add to your life. Reason number 1, if you remember earlier in the semester, I quoted some statistics to you from the Center for Addiction and Substance Abuse out of Columbia University. The 1 extra half hour you take to eat with your family led your teenagers to make some better decisions in the things that they encountered in life. So stir-fry fights drugs. Now, we've also always known that a man who can cook is considered sexier than a man who can not. Well, Men's Health magazine discovered very dramatic results when they interviewed 1,000 Cosmopolitan readers and found that 66% of the females in that survey would actually consider having sex consider having sex with a man who had prepared them a home-cooked meal. So guys, learn how to cook stir-fry will enhance your sex life. Lastly, if you're already in a relationship, one of the biggest complaints in relationships is that I don't get to spend enough time with my spouse. This is 30 minutes that you can find to be ninjas together in the kitchen with your spouse. Dance the light fantastic, make a fabulous meal and eat it. Find out if number 2 is true. And if it's not, you stir-fry to strengthen your relationship. So we can see that, as a matter of fact, stir-fry is the perfect dish. It can be made by anybody that can read and write. It doesn't take any length of time to cook. And we just demonstrated how much of an impact it will have on your family, your social, your personal, your relational life. Stir-fry must become a part of what you make in your kitchen, and let your kitchen become your kingdom. So that's what I'm tasking you with today. I've already sent you an email with a direct link to a stir-fry recipe that's quick, simple, and easy, easier than what I described here. You've got those 20 steps if you want to go a little bit further with it. But what I'm telling you to do is make stir-fry. Plain and simple, just make stir-fry. Specifically, make stir-fry for somebody special in your life. Even if that somebody special is you. Thank you.
Super creative, Mr. Bob, and your time was just a
8:42.